Doing a market research or a TAM SAM SOM exercise is not just about getting a number or how much money or how many customers you are going to get. In reality, it's going to be a strategic approach for you to understand how you're going to grow your product or your business or secure funding if you are a startup. Let's do a quick recap of what TAM SAM SOM is. Let's start with a quick analogy. If you have a sailing boat and you are going out fishing, the TAM would be the entire ocean. The SAM would be the areas of the ocean that you can reach with your boat, and the SOM would be the actual fish that you will be capturing. So TAM is the total addressable market. It's the total size of your opportunity if you would be able to reach the 100% of the audience or the people that had the problem that you're solving with your products. The SAM is the serviceable addressable market. Is the part of the TAM that you can address with your business model and your geographic reach. And the SOM serviceable obtainable market is the part of the SAM that you could capture based on your operations and the competition that is out there. And this is usually measured in near or midterm. So let's go through the first point. How can you use strategically an exercise of market research or TAM SAM SOM for growing your business? So first of all, this is not just about a number. It's not about the target, the goal that you want to achieve. Let's say that you are going to achieve 1 million euros in revenue or dollars in revenue or whatnot. But it's about a roadmap, an understanding of how you are going to get there. This is why this exercise is very important and why it's strategic. So it's not just a pretty number that you present to your board saying that next year we are going to reach 20 million or 1 million, whatever it is, without realistically having a plan. What this is going to do is give you an action plan or helping you create that plan to understand how you are going to move forward. So one of the areas that this is going to affect is product development. So for example, if your current SOM is already capped, then that means that your product is already serving that audience. So you probably had to start looking into what parts of the SAM, the serviceable addressable market, you could be addressing in the future. Do I need new features or maybe new products to be able to address those needs that the people in that bigger market have, so I can serve them and gain a bigger market share? For marketing and sales, it's very important to have an exercise at TAM SAM SOM because it helps them understand what is the audience, the people that we are serving with these products that we are building. They understand much better who they are going to talk to, how they had to talk to them, where they can potentially find them. This is very important for them because if they don't know where to find them, if they don't know how to talk to them, if they don't know who they even are, how they are even going to talk to them. Doing this exercise is going to give them the guidelines for them to do their job, to be able to reach out to people where they are with the needs that they have and the problems that they have and be able to target that message so you are able to solve their problems. You can also use it for market growth and expansion. So think about that you want to start to reach out to new regions or potentially to new industries because the product that you have is built for a specific industry, but maybe adjacent industries could benefit from a very similar or a slightly changed product to benefit them as well. This is going to give you hints or understanding of what is the size of those markets and potentially how to get to them. This is also very beneficial for you to do a competitive analysis to understand what is the position that your competitors have. It's not just about how much of the market share they have, which is also important, but it's also about understanding where the gaps are. And this is key because if you understand where the gaps are in the offering, you might be able to improve your product and your offering because you are offering something that your competitors don't have. That's going to be a differentiation for you. The other great benefit of doing a market research with TAM SAM SOM is that you are going to be able to do investor pitching and potentially secure funding for your startup. So if you're looking for an investment, doing a TAM SAM SOM is going to help you build a story of how you are going to get there, how you are going to build around this market. What no investor wants to hear is that if you think that the market size or the number of product managers out there is about 1 million, 1.2 millions, if we capture 1% of them, we could be making X amount of money. That doesn't tell anything. It just sounds like a pretty number, but in reality, it's not telling what is your strategy, what is your roadmap to actually get to conquer that market share. So what an investor looks like. What an investor looks like is not just for a pretty number, is that you understand your market potential and that you have a plan to start addressing and obtaining that market with a sum. Understand what are your operations, what are your limitations, and how much of that market potential you could be reaching. And then expect a perfect number. I don't think that that's the goal. Of course, they want a big enough market so they can make money, but they want to see that you have a plan and that you understand enough the market to have created a strategy and the roadmap to really take over that share of the market. The second one that's going to help you is to craft your story. Everybody loves to hear a story. It's a narration. It's easier to follow. It's easier to keep people engaged. So if you are able to explain better what is the overall opportunity, your TAM, and how potentially I could be reaching a sum inside this opportunity, but based on what I'm building right now and the operations that I have and the competitors out there, my current piece of the pie would be the sum. This is much more understandable for somebody and easier to follow up, and they can see that you have done your job. You can also start addressing assumptions, because obviously these are assumptions, these are estimations. This is what an investor wants to know, and they want to know that you have looked into the potential alternatives and where things could potentially not work. And how also you have arrived to those assumptions. That gives them a better understanding of why are you using certain numbers over others. And you can also craft different scenarios. So you can do a scenario planning based on different ways of taking over the market. You could have a more conservative approach. You could have a more, let's say, medium approach, or a more aggressive approach. I don't know what is the term for medium. Let's use medium. Anyways, what you want to show is that depends on the investment that you can get. You could do one approach by investing less and maybe taking a little bit slower. But if you have more money and you can be more aggressive, you could try to grow faster. You could invest more in marketing, sales, whatnot. One consideration that you have to take into account is that creating a market or doing a market research or doing a TAM SAM SOM exercise is not an let's say static exercise. It's something that is going to change over time. Obviously, the technologies are going to change. The opportunities will reshape themselves. Competitors will come in or go. The market share that you could conquer is going to change based on many different aspects. And being able to redo this every now and then, maybe once a year or something like that, it's going to give you a good understanding of where you are in the market and are my assumptions on the market the correct ones. And if the assumptions are not the correct ones anymore because the market has shifted, what can I do? Should I do something? Should I just continue course? Do I have a solid plan? Is it still solid based on the new assumptions? Or do I have to potentially start shifting or even pivoting the direction that I'm going? As anything with product development, you always had to be able to iterate. You always had to be able to adapt. So now we have talked about why you should have this number, and not just the numbers, how they help you craft a roadmap. They can help you be more strategic. They can help your business grow or potentially secure funding for your startup. But that's not enough for you. In the next video, I'm going to talk about what you should be doing. I'm presenting a framework for you to actually be able to implement a TAM SAM SOM into your business or your company or your potential startup idea. So make sure that you subscribe so you get a notification for the next video. Meanwhile, if you want to help your product teams to really start building impact and growing your business instead of just focusing on creating new features that potentially are not benefiting anybody, go check out the course that I put together. If you want to know what TAM SAM SOM is, go check out this video next. I will see you in the next one, and remember, stay safe.